Several years ago, NASA experimented with a GT3 series. Car count dwindled and the series was separated from the Rallycross mothership. Now in 2023, we try again with a new car, the Toyota GR86. First introduced to the sim in December of 2022, the GR86 very quickly became one of our favorite cars here in NASA. Approachable and sporty, this Toyota is an excellent entry-level car for drivers to hone their skills behind the wheel. With 17 cars set to do battle, we welcome you to the first round of the 2023 Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge. Qualifying in Tsukuba is next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual renowned Tsukuba circuit. Opened in 1970, this 1.2-mile, 9-turn track was established with the goal of attracting the younger generation to motorsports. Turn 1 up the crest, very tricky corner. Clip the curve, you'll be sent off the road. Down the straightaway, turn 2, turn 3, heavy braking to turn number 4, banked hairpin. Exiting the corner, turn 5, just a blip of the throttle depending on how your car is, through 6, through 7, down to the hairpin at the other end of the track for 8, longest straight, down to turn number 9, the longest corner on this track. Multiple lines, don't hit the curb, it's not going to be a good time. Into the AstroTurf to end a lap here in Tsukuba. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, Justin Robichaud next to me in the commentary box, my name is Josh Mertz, and we are so excited to bring the first round of our inaugural GR86 series on the Automotive Sports Network. This wildly popular road course rarely hosts a major championship today, but racing enthusiasts continue to pour onto the doorstep, ready to put their machine to the test. Justin Robichaud.
That's right, Josh. Tsukuba has been immortalized in countless video games due to its popularity and is widely considered to be one of the birthplaces of time attack racing, which started right here in Japan in the 1960s. It's a badge of honor to hold the time attack record here, and many manufacturers still try to beat those records today. They say there's action here weekly at Tsukuba Circuit. It's certainly a track that I'd love to visit someday, Josh.
If Japan wasn't so far away and it wasn't so expensive, I would certainly be there at one point in my life. Our series is brought to you in association with Woven by Toyota. Mobility to love, safety to live. Woven by Toyota, title partner of the NASA Sports Car Challenge. Our coverage all season also brought to you by NordVPN. NordVPN keeps your browsing activity and personal data completely private with over 5,500 servers in 59 countries. And as a result, you can enjoy fast and secure internet access from anywhere in the world. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA for up to 63% off a 2-year plan. And our cameras for the entire season, like with Rallycross, are provided by TrackCams22.com. Qualifying obviously beginning, and there's a couple of familiar names at the top of this board. Francois Martel, points leader in NASA Rallycross Supercars, 2.5 tenths faster than David Schofield. Where did this come from? Schofield has been on fire throughout the test, Justin.
I'm blown away. I mean, I kind of expected Francois to come in and be really competitive right out of the gate. I knew he was fast just from our fun league, and our fun league was meant to just be something we threw up once a week for the guys to have some fun in the off season, and he was super fast there when we swapped to the GR once that launched, and I kind of expected him to come in and be quick, but to be faster than Schofield here, that's unbelievable. Schofield's been on fire, like you said, throughout all of testing.
Dalton Lott has gone second by 1.5 tenths from Martel.
Oh my word! 1/10.
Ragster now second, according to the timing, by 7/100ths of a second. So as we were starting to talk about that, the times are beginning to tumble. And what's tricky about this, it's a 1.2 mile track, like we talked about, open qualifying for the next 10 minutes. It's a 15-minute session before that 45-minute feature race. And if any open qualifying session we see in Formula One, for example, it's chaotic when you have so many cars on such a tiny track. We'll have to keep an eye on it, of course. Race is going to be pretty interesting. 45 minutes. There will be a guaranteed pit stop as Martel has gone quicker at a 1 minute 1.894, just slightly, but still faster in car number 12, the French Canadian. But we'll see a pit stop at some point. We were talking to the drivers before we came on air. And Justin, you were saying relatively quickly you can pit or relatively late. What are we thinking there?
Yeah, so I mean, they start with about 7 gallons of fuel, and by my quick testing, I haven't, done too many laps with pits, but I think they can pit about as early as maybe 18 laps. So I'm guessing maybe 15 minutes or so, and probably about as late as 35, 40 minutes into the race if they save.
Let's take a look and see if we can find anyone on a hot lap. Of course, with so many cars, we're destined to probably find one. As I'm going to take a look, saving Ragster on a cool-down lap. Dalton Lott in P3. It looks like he's on a hot lap. Ragster gets out of his way in the 91.
And Josh Clog just stuffs himself into the top 3, just as expected.
As I'll try not to make too many rallycross comparisons, but defending rallycross champion Josh Clog, very successful in the GT3 iteration of this league. So a lot of these guys, very quick in multiple disciplines of cars, something that I cannot say the same on. But let's take a look. Martel, Ragster, Clog, Lott, and Andrew Parente in P5. Jess Rakowski looks like she went quicker. As I'm just flicking through the field, she sits in P12. Schofield, Wetz, Quinn, Frank Klein, and Eli Sasak in the 10th spot in car number 9. So excited to have 17 cars. Let's take the veil down of the TV production here. So excited to have 17 cars for this first race. We had probably 10 to 15 for those test races, but those are test races. It's different. This is the first round of a brand new championship, Justin, and no scripts with this one. I am so excited to watch this race in the coming minutes.
I don't know if you can hear the smile in my on my face, but it's 17 drivers is fantastic. I mean, we have 22 registered. I figured we would have a few pop out here and there. I still expect some of those drivers to come back and do some races with us. So very excited to see if they join us. But this is going to be an excellent season. And already, I mean, look at the competition. I mean, a lot of these guys seem elevated right out of the gate just from the test sessions alone. I mean, we've got Dalton Lott, Andrew Parente. I haven't seen a lot from him yet, I don't believe. And Chris Wetz just signed up today. So
Brock Quinn into the hay bales on the inside in one of the factory woven Toyota cars, sitting P8, the Canadian. Just a couple programming notes before we get rolling here on the Automotive Sports Network. We do have the 4th round of NASA Rallycross Lights. That will be tomorrow from Barcelona. You can catch that on ASN On Demand. It will be 9 p.m. or Saturday. I know what I'm doing. Saturday, 9 p.m. So used to Fridays. We had a little bit of an internal delay to further delay that. But that will be Saturday, 9 p.m. ASN On Demand. The Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge definitely wouldn't be delayed. Otherwise, there's more problems than just that. Round 5 in Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia. That'll be Monday, the 17th. You'll join myself, Philip Kraus, Cody Urban, Bryan Sawyer for that one. As no one has gotten quicker, we are just under halfway through. It looks like we're going to click over at least.
Now, actually, David Schofield's taken that 2nd spot. That drops Savian down to 3rd and Josh Clog to 4th.
So let's take a look. Clog exiting the final corner in the 199. The man from Maryland crosses the start-finish line. Will this be a timed lap? It is not, but he's going to begin a lap here in Tsukuba. Justin, take us along for the ride. No pressure.
He's riding that nice curb. Yeah, no, we're gonna watch his curb action here because Josh Clog is one of those guys. He's gonna run it. He's gonna run really tight in here.
So tricky. You want to hug
his momentum.
Curb. You can almost hit that curb to get the car to rotate.
Right here, nice bump off that. Yep, nice. You got to bump that curb on that right side, nice and good. But it upsets the car a bit, so you got to hit it nice and smooth. You're gonna brake real late here, dive it right in. Early on the throttle again and come out wide.
Locked up the right front on corner entry, did clog in the 199. Keep in
Very
mind,
easy to
this
do.
is the fixed setup, but there's no traction control and no anti-lock brakes in these cars. So super easy to make a mistake. Despite this car, don't want to say it's easy to drive, but a little bit more forgiving. Crosses the line, 1 minute 2.353, slower than his fastest lap. Chris Wetz in P3, the man from Texas.
Out of nowhere.
Rallycross mentioned the only man to race every single season, 28 of them in the last 11 years, and he sits P3.
A 102 flat.
I gotta be biased. Go you, Wetz. What a lap.
I mean, he's half a tenth from being in the 101s. I mean, that's not a number we've seen yet, even in all the testing sessions. So these guys are putting in work, and it's showing.
Martel, Schofield, Wetz, Ragster clog the top 5. Lott, Parente, Quinn, the other Lott, they are brothers. And then Frank Klein sits in the 10th spot. Only car to not have completed a lap, your father, Jake Robichaud, in the 69. Hopefully we'll see him complete a lap. He's on track for Slapex Racing. Great to see Slapex Racing branching out from the Rallycross divisions here in NASA Sim Racing. And I believe that's their only car so far in this championship. It is. No Cody Crosgrove and no Matthew Grove. Only Jake Robichaud for Slapex.
Yeah, and I know he was doing some adjustments today to the rig, so he may just be having some troubles there. So we'll see. We'll track that throughout the night. It'd be really nice to see Dad put up a lap and keep in this.
So that's
we welcome all skill levels here at NASA, so we're not going to turn away a driver just from skill. So you're going to see a pretty wide field here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
If anyone joining us on ASN Live would like to join, nasasimracing.com. It will pop up in the ASN news ticker at the bottom at some point. And our lovely producer, Bryan Sawyer, handles it for us on a graphic. So the team's championship's going to look a little bit weird, I would say. Sequential SimSport has 2 cars, Jess Rakowski and Cody Erdman. Erdman not here, the man from Wisconsin. Then the factory woven by Toyota Racing, 4 cars, everybody's here. Uneven Gaming Motorsport with the Lott brothers, Dalton and Jared, and that looks like those are the only multi-car teams we have. So yeah. I'm gonna be curious to see throughout this season developing, will there be some partnerships? Will there be some teams forming? As Chris Wetz, I caught off monitor pushing so hard he was rallycrossing off the track. Wetz, we don't race in Japan anymore in the rally cars.
Yeah, he jumped in right at the last minute, and to be honest, I'm very excited to have him here. I raced with him over in another league with some GT3 cars, and he's a phenomenal driver. I'm so excited to see him come out here and put up a podium spot just out of nowhere, seemingly just showing up and saying, I like the car. I spoke with him just the other day. He said he has some friends that race this car in real life, so he kind of knows the car, and he's excited about the season.
Trying really hard to get one of my personal friends to run this series. He owns a Toyota GR86, and it's a beautiful car in sim and in the real world. I'm trying so hard. Isaac, if you're watching, please race with us. It's going to be a great time.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
We take a look on monitor. It's one of the I must have lost it. And we're looking at Clog. It's Parente in the 15. I think my stream's a little bit behind on that. So Parente in the 15. He sits in P8. No movement on the leaderboard so far. That 1 minute 1.894. We got 2 minutes left in qualifying, according to my screen. So we should be getting close to where you have to make it count. And remember, we talk about in Rallycross, it's not like the real world, like Formula One, for example. You have to finish your lap before the timer hits 0. It's not like you start your lap and you'll be able to run that lap. So these guys and girls really have to pay attention to the time and make sure they get their lap done and dusted before we end qualifying, Justin.
Yeah, exactly. And it puts a little bit of pressure, too. We were kind of curious if 17 cars might be too much on a track like Tsukuba with an open qualifying format. But so far, I mean, it's been very clean. There's been a lot of respect out there on the track at the moment for what I'm seeing. This is just fantastic. This is shaping up to be a great night.
As one thing that's I'm going to be really excited about, and of course strategy. We have jokers in Rallycross. We got pit stops here in the Sportscar Challenge. And you and I talked in the drivers meeting minutes ago. This pit lane entry super crucial because you can kind of be conservative and give up some time, or you can haul the mail and gain plenty of time.
Absolutely. You can send it around that corner quite quick on the inside. You can see there just on the left of your screen. It's really narrow, so you got to be really confident when you throw it, but you can absolutely gain a second if you've practiced that. I mean, the pit line, you might have seen it just... I'm
going to interrupt you. Crossing the line, 1 minute 2.2 for Martell. It looked like he might be up. Schofield might be up on a fast lap. According to this timing... Will he take the spot from Martell down the backstretch into the final corner here in Tsukuba to end qualifying? He's going to have 15 seconds. He'll have plenty of time to end this lap off the final corner. The 27 crosses the line. 1 minute 1.913. He gets a faster lap, but it does not give him pole position for the debut round of the Sports Car Challenge.
Wow, I mean, look at the margin on that lap. It's I can't do my quick math right off the top of my head, but it's like a
0.02.
Oh,
for the first pole position for the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge. And I say every single rallycross race, and I've said it for the past 11 years, anything can happen because it does. Who knows? With these two being that close, this is going to be a great feature race.
It could come down to a pit strategy. It absolutely could. I mean, these two are going to drive respectfully. They're going to drive great and clean. And I think they'll be neck and neck all race. I'm excited to see if anybody maybe picks up a few tricks along the way throughout the race and leads out. But I really think this could come down to who has a better pit.
Just taking a look. Tires. Wetz, Lott, Ragster, Clog. Everybody, let's see, 1 minute 2.0 for Wetz. It's there's 5 cars over that within a couple tenths of a second. So not only is it going to be a great battle for the win, but I think the third spot on the podium is going to be up for grabs here too.
I mean, you've got basically a 2-3/10 juicy stake of drivers right there in that between the fourth and seventh spot. That's going to be some exciting racing. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on some drivers, and it might come down to some mistakes.
Good luck, everyone. Let's have some fun.
Hey. Pit strategy, baby. Let's go. That's
and team radio from Sabian Ragster, just wishing good luck to all of his fellow drivers. Our liaison here in NASA Sim Racing with Woven by Toyota, Sabian Ragster, one of the guys in the Rallycross Challenge as well. We thank him for his help with making this a reality. Our grid graphic a little bit broken, so we might have to do this the old school way. Not an issue. Bryan Sawyer works his hardest, and sometimes it just doesn't decide to work. On pole position, Francois Martel, the French-Canadian, in car number 12. Second on the grid, David Schofield, the man from New Hampshire. Chris Wetz from Texas. Then we have Dalton Lott in the 4th spot. Sabian Ragster, Josh Clog, Brock Quinn, Parente, Jared Lott, Frank Klein rounds out the top 10. Eli Sasak, Trevor Kratzer, Jess Rakowski, Sashit Vitaldas, Joseph DeGiacomo, Jake Robichaud, Edwin Webb. If I butchered any names, I apologize, but I'm super excited for this first round of the championship.
Oh boy.
And I don't know what's happening with your graphics, Bryan, but they completely broken. Anyone who's new, welcome to NASA. We try our hardest, and sometimes it just breaks, and we're just here for a good time.
It is what it is. Yeah, we're just having fun with it.
As we roll for the 45-minute feature race, the safety car will immediately jump to the pit lane. Yep. Field will be in the hands of Francois Martel and David Schofield. And like we had talked about, what an incredible season and series that this is going to be. 17 cars, 45 minutes, safety car to pit lane. Thank you for joining us here on ASN as we go green in Japan. Off the line, does Schofield get a run on Martel? Side by side down to the first corner. 3 wide between 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Wetz on the inside. Clog on the outside. Will he take the spot from Lott? He will. Lott got stuck in the middle. Side by side. Some of the Woven cars. It's Ragster with Parente. Klein with Quinn. Single file through the back of the order. Down to turn 4. Martel leads by about a car length over Schofield. Clog in 3rd, Wetz and Dalton Lott. Lott poked his nose in on the inside. Wetz clobbers the curve in the 71, trying to gain the time back from Clog. That's going to compromise him down into the hairpin. Will Lott sneak it in? He will, side by side. Lott to the inside in the 45. He takes the spot from the man from Texas, put Wetz back to 5th. Side by side, Klein with Quinn in the lower placings of the top 10. Single file for the rest of the order. And Francois Martel at the end of the first lap, Justin, pulling away a couple car lengths from David Schofield.
Yeah, I mean, Schofield is out! Oh, my word!
He clipped the grass on corner exit and might have called it a bit too soon. We're 3 wide down to the first corner.
Josh, and we've assassinated the driver with the commentator's curse already. That's horrifying.
Parente, Ragster, side by side. I'll have to take a look off monitor when this battle subsides, but Dalton Lott nearly ping-ponged back and forth between a couple cars. Schofield clipped the left rear onto the dirt, pushing so hard, and at the end of the first lap, into the fence goes the 27. One of the fastest guys here. We just talked about it, and commentator's curse is set to 1. I'm trying to give you a moment to talk, but these guys are not letting me, as Dalton Lott to the inside of Wetz. Wetz locked it up in the 71. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch. Wetz is going to let him have it.
I'm unbelievable. I have that replay up and ready if you want to watch, but like this is just unbelievable. We can't even find a good spot. But I'm watching David Schofield right now. Let's roll it. Let's roll. David Schofield just comes right out. A little too wide, clips it like you said, and
I called it a little bit too soon that he hit the wall before he hit the wall, but I knew that there was no saving that car. So much action through this field. Frank Klein and Quinn in the back of the field. They're battling for the 7th spot. Martel has Clog. What is this, rallycross? We've got Clog and Martel at the top 2 spots. Dalton Lott and Wentz. I told you this was going to be a battle for 3rd. We're only 3 laps in, and these guys racing like it's the last lap of the race. Andrew Parente looking good in the 15. Klein and Quinn battling as well. These two have been back and forth in the first couple laps.
Yeah,
it's such a rewarding car to get that. When you get it right, Justin, super rewarding.
Oh, it really is. I mean, when you get into it, your first impression is, oh man, it's kind of like, it's not really super powerful. But like, all that really does is add like a lot of complexity to how you have to drive your line. You really have to be deep and gentle on the brakes because it's so soft, but you have to be on the throttle early and keep your power band up.
Fastest lap, Francois Martel. Fastest lap, Josh Clog. So these two, I think, Clog might have slotted in replacing Schofield, trying to find the man from New Hampshire. He's still on track in the 27, but he's in last, of course.
Wow, I don't know what happened, but like Clog bridged a big gap on Francois Martel that last lap. And he is reeling him in right now.
We'd expect
a pretty good battle for 5th and actually a long battle for 3rd, 4th.
I was just about to say, I'm so used to calling rallycross races. My intensity level is always up. I'm expecting it to quiet down, but it's not quieting down as Klein and Quinn are battling like it's the race win, and it's for 7th. I can't get over it, and like I've said, every spot matters in NASA Sim Racing, regardless, as we ride on board Quinn.
Brock was fierce in that test race in Sebring too. He was relentless.
Nearly contact. Really upset on corner entrance.
Takes the inside. Will he keep the momentum?
He hit the curb, so it kind of hindered him. Klein will be able to hold that spot. Will he outbrake Klein?
He goes in deep, locks a bit.
33 complained under braking for sure, and he missed the apex. Eli Sasak battling with Jared Lott for the 9th spot. And this battle is not going away. Dalton Lott, Wetz, Ragster, Parente, 3rd down to 6th spot. As we take a look at Quinn in the 005. Looks like he lost it in the middle of the corner, so he lost a little bit of time. Jared Lott passed by Eli Sasak in the 9, so put the 37 back to 10th. So much action as Sashit's on pit lane. Is he pitting soon, or was there an issue? I'll take a look off monitor. It looks like, Justin, he might have just decided, I'm just going to pit now. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and see what happened here and see what's going on.
There was no incident. Josh Clog resets fastest lap. He just decided to pit early, so I wonder if he's just trying something to get up some track position. Clog 3/10 up on Martel that last lap, the 199 versus the 12. Dalton Lott was a 10th up on Wetz. Ragster was 4/10 down, and I say it's calmed down, but yet again, there's another gaggle of cars from Quinn down to Jess Rakowski in the 12th spot, the driver from Maryland. Hanging on to this train, Jake Robichaud, David Schofield, Joseph DeGiacomo, and Sashit back on track in the 555. And I don't think this battle for the win is going, or the lead is going to go away. I think Clog, knowing Clog, he just minds his own business. We've talked about it in Rallycross. He shows up at the end of the championship and wins.
Yeah, he's the guy that's happy. Business. He's happy to sit in second for sure. I don't know, though. He looks like he's got Francois on a fishing line, and he's just sitting there hanging out. Yeah, saving some tires, maybe. I mean, like, this is a track that I suspect is going to be hard on those fronts. Like, there's two pretty nasty hairpins. I mean, they're coming up to one here with Rags through here, and on the way we're going to come up to one real right here. Nice high banking. Hit this pretty hard. That's a really hard on the front right.
So hard.
This turn, he carries so much speed.
And let's see what happened. Jake Robichaud came together with Joseph DeGiacomo. We heard the team radio, at least I think, because Jake spun it off the final corner and came across into DeGiacomo and into Sashit, I think, in the 555. Or no, it was Sashit in the 555. So 3 cars on the front straightaway. And no. What's interesting about this car, it does have the new damage model. So it's not just a broken wheel and you can kind of wheel it back. You're going to basically experience real-life suspension damage where it might be impossible to get back to the pit lane here, Justin. Yeah,
I mean, the sim might just make you pit. It would definitely give you some type of flag telling you to get off there if there's too much damage.
Edwin Webb in the 81. I'll try and take a look off monitor and see if something happened to him. Was he just off pace? Looks like he just pulled it into the pit lane. And he spun on pit entry. So that seals that. Last lap, Martel was a 10th down on Clog. So Clog gaining on the 12. Will we see blue flags for the 69 Robichaud? Heavy damage on the Slapex car. He'll have to take it to the pit lane here. And
I would suspect he's being told to go down pit lane, and he's hugging that right side line, so looks like he's making every intention to pit out. There's a lot of damage on the front right of that car right there.
This battle's still heating up for 4th, 5th, and 6th as Frank Klein, Eli, Brock Quinn, Rakowski. Looks like it's pretty much evened out now. I just wonder if that's why there was a mistake. I took a look off monitor. One car, it was Jared Lott in the 37, clipped the grass in turn 5, I believe it is, and around he went. So that kind of spread the field out a little bit here as we're on board Parente.
And he is just hugging Ragster's butt right now. He's just holding right on. They're driving a perfect line, and he's probably getting a bit of a speed boost from the slipstream there, but just enough to keep him in contention.
We're not missing anything up front. And if you're new to ASN, which I trust that many of us are watching tonight's coverage, I have an obsession with lap times, and I will keep us updated of the battle for the lead all evening long. Francois Martel, 1 minute 2.1. Josh Clog, 1 minute 2.5. So that pace that we talked about a little bit earlier, Justin, maybe Clog knows. Maybe he's just going to save his tires a little bit. We take a look at lap times again. 1 minute 2.3 to a 2.5. So 0.2 up was Martel against Clog.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not forget, we've got a bonus point for that fast lap owner. So right now, that's Josh Clog. So, that bonus point might not mean much right now, but it could down the line if there's some 4th or 5th place finishes, which, with the field of the way it's looking right now, that could be a possibility.
In the last 11 years, as Sashit, off monitor, spun again in the 555. I think he might be over and parked. Jared Lott has spun again. I'm trying to bring up a point, and everyone's deciding to spin. We've seen in the last 11 years in NASA Sim Racing, it was mainly only Rallycross, of course, but we've seen championships be decided on ties, tiebreakers, 1 point, 2 points. Every single point matters. So at the end of the season, if you have the opportunity to get the fastest lap, of course, you want to make sure that you can get that. So
it hurts 1 point less in the 5-point deficit from 1st to 2nd, for sure. So, absolutely. Claw away.
Times are beginning to fall. We look side by side. It was Sasak versus Quinn. And Quinn looks like, actually, he's the second best woven car. It's Sabian Ragster in the 91. Then they have a couple of other cars in the back of the field. Defending is Quinn. I'll finish my point in a minute. Will Sasak take the spot on the outside in the 9? Can he clear him? He'll have the inside down the straightaway to the hairpin at turn number 4. Side by side, even, braking early. And it looks like Sasak might take this spot from Quinn. Quinn defended hard into turn 1, but that compromised him through the middle sector here.
He may have creaked a little bit and made a mistake. That looked like a little bit of a late break to me, and he just gave it up. That's the right call. Claw back. There's plenty of time left, and there's still a pit. So,
as a couple of the woven cars out of this race are in the back of the field, Sashit Vitaldas and Edwin Webb, 2 of the cars in the back. Then you have Ragster in 5th. So flying the flag for the factory team, the man from California in the 91. Still impressed with Wetz sitting in the 4th spot, the man from Texas. As lap time wise, everyone's pretty much even in the top 6. We look at 7th as Klein, 1 minute 2.6.
Yeah, a bit of smoke flying off the brakes from Parente there, trying to get in on Ragster there in turn 1. But this is a nice little battle. I mean, you're right. Chris Wetz is leading the way on Sabian Ragster, and I know that's got to bug Sabian. He's I'm sure they've rubbed doors in GT3 over in that other league that I mentioned earlier, and there's not going to be bad blood per se, but I know Sabian. He's going to want that spot, so he's going to fight.
And Wetz, not saying that Wetz is slow. It blew my mind that he's up front at the top of this field, but he's a very good defender. I'll put it that way. Take it from me, raced against him for the last 11 years. So if he wants you to stay behind you or stay behind him, he'll make it happen. I've lost a couple rallycross races being stuck behind him. So super fast guy, and certainly knows how to get the job done. Eli Sasak in the 9 is pitting from the 8th position. So will we see the dominoes begin to fall in the strategy?
And that looks like Jess Rakowski maybe behind him. Yep, that is Jess Rakowski.
And Schofield's still on track. Let's get an update for him. He is sitting in the 10th spot in the 27, 20 seconds off of the race lead. Yep. We saw in the test race, tires versus no tires. Honestly, if I'm Schofield, I mean, of course you won't know what Martell and Clog are doing, but I would just have to take the gamble of no tires to get back to the front of the field.
100%. And knowing David Schofield and the way he drives and how smooth and consistent and good he is anyways, he's driving this with that in mind anyways. He's one of those drivers, just really high iRacing IQ. He's going to finish this on those tires, guaranteed, and he's going to use that to his advantage if maybe the other guys do take fronts or 4 tires. So, honestly, that could be the difference maker in him maybe getting a good result, maybe getting into the top 5 back.
As Martell up front, we haven't missed anything there. Clog, Dalton Lott, Chris Wetz, Sabian Ragster, the top 5. We take a look at the battle between Ragster and Parente, just over 3/10, call it 3.5, between these two in the 91 and the 15. As Andrew Parente from New York, Ragster from California, battling for the 5th spot. As I'm taking a look off monitor, Eli Sasak has disconnected from the server. So our second retirement in this race will be car number 9. As the gap shrank by 1/10, Justin, between these two. Parente getting the slipstream down the backstretch, but you really can't do anything into this final corner. You just have to try and stay as close to the guy as you can. Don't hit the curb too hard because it'll spit you off to driver's left. And then down to turn 1, really the best opportunity to overtake on this track. Right ahead of them is Wetz versus Lott, and Wetz is 3/10 up on Lott in the 45. So I believe we're going to be seeing a position change. Joseph DeGiacomo has gotten lapped by Martell. Will he stay out of the way of Clog in the 199?
This is a tough spot to do that, too. Very difficult corner to stay out of someone's way just with how you hit it.
As blue flag should be being shown, and he is not moving over.
And it sucks because his next opportunity is right here, and he's doing it. There it is.
It's out of the way in the 845.
That's just unfortunate for Clog. Unfortunate.
As Lott still holds off Wetz, Ragster holds off Parente, and if you bring that graphic back up, I would say it's much less than 2.5 tenths. Parente slipstream, he is there on Ragster in the 91. But again, can't make anything happen into this final corner. Much better run in the mid part of the corner, but he clips the curve.
Oh, he's pushing so hard. So hard he wants Sabian Ragster to bend and give him that position so badly.
And put it in perspective just real quick up front, with Clog being held up by De Giacomo, 3/10 down was the gap. Ragster a little bit wide on corner exit of turn 1, but I don't know if Parente will be able to do anything with it. They were equal on lap time that last time around. Taking a look through the field, Trevor Kratzer in the 17 has pitted from the 10th spot. Only car to be on the pit lane recently was him. He just exited. I think the battle that we're really looking at as now Dalton Lott trying to get around De Giacomo in the 55. And what is...
Oh, they look like they're having... That looks like pit intentions right there.
Will we see...
Or are they just driving a...
stop? He's just getting the slipstream
defensive line.
From the 55 as well. Wet's closing in. Francois, 1 minute 2.3. Clog, 1 minute 2.6.
Got the lights flashing from Dalton Lott now, as he finally gets past that spot.
De Giacomo lets them both by to battle for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, De Giacomo got kind of held up in that incident with Jake Robichaud, so he's probably driving with a bit of animosity at the moment. Wants to gain some of that time back. I feel that, but. He's definitely not making it easy.
Pit stops jumbling this field up. Jared Lott, he is 1 lap down. Kratzer's 1 lap down. So is Jake Robichaud in the 69. So we'll just have to wait and see as Sashid on pit lane again, or that might just be the graphic that popped up. He is he's been on pit lane that entire time, so apologies for that one. As almost a halfway, not quite.
We got Sabian Ragster diving into the pits.
Ragster pits. Off monitor, De Giacomo's off the track in the 55. Hopefully he stays off the track. Ragster enters the pit lane in the 91.
Very good entry. Very good entry on that pit lane.
So we'll just have to pay attention to where is Parente in the 15. Did he pit the lap prior and we missed it? I believe he did. So let's take a look. Take a look at Parente crossing the start-finish line. And he's going to pip Ragster, I believe. Or they're going to be battling down to turn 1. He does not. Parente takes the spot on Sabian Ragster. And that's a 1.5-second pit time difference, Justin.
Wow, yeah, 2 seconds pretty near. That's unbelievable. Like I said, you can push really, really hard and gain that massive amount of time if you send it in there. Unbelievable performance there. That's... I knew there'd be some passes here tonight based on strategy.
Clog being held up by Jake Robichaud in the 69. Will we see a pit stop from Wetz and Lott? I'm interested to see the pit strategy between these two. They've been all over each other all evening long. So we'll just have to wait and see through the pit strategy. Let's try and get a reset of the running order. Frank Klein sits in 5th. Quinn Schofield up to 7th in the 27. Parente, Ragster, Rakowski. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge here in the Automotive Sports Network. Josh Mertz, Bryan Sawyer, Justin Robichaud, along for the ride here at Tsukuba. Just about in a couple minutes, we'll be halfway through this debut round of the championship, and it has been certainly exciting. If you're a David Schofield fan, it's not exciting for you. The man from New Hampshire had an issue exiting the final corner on the 1st lap and is down the order after a crash. But trying to take a look at Wetz and Lott. Wetz peeking to the inside, pitting in the 71. So we'll keep an eye on Dalton Lott, and Wetz furiously pushing in the 71 to ensure that he can get a good pit.
Pretty conservatively on the entrance there to the pit line. We'll see what his pit time comes up to, see what he does.
Yeah. Francois, Clog, Lott.
Chris Wetz is in it.
Wetz right pits.
Now. Yep.
Quinn and Klein battling for the 5th spot here, Justin. And Schofield up to, according to my timing, he's up to 6th. So these guys battling for 4th once timing fixes itself here.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's just because we've got a lot of pit strategies going on too. I mean, that's normal for timing to get a little jumbled up. I mean, we've got people sitting in third, fourth, and fifth that may not be there in a couple laps when they pit. So we'll see what happens. A lot of these drivers are going to be off very soon, though.
Dalton Lott not pitting. And I didn't catch if Wetz took tires. He was super quick in the pit lane. I don't think he took tires in the 71. I'll take a look off monitor to see. He did not. So he still got the warm tires. Dalton Lott pits. The graphic, it was Wetz. As where is Dalton Lott in the 45? He is exiting turn 1 through the S's here. So we'll just have to wait and see if he pits. We've been taking a look all race long, of course, on the battle for the podium spots.
So Chris doesn't have a bad pit. His box time was 11.8. His total time was 27.9. So it's not the fastest, but he's not the slowest either.
Locks it up in the 71, down into turn 1. He's going to lose the spot to Parente in the 15.
Oh, and Savian Ragsler's right in there too. He's just ready to take advantage of anything that happens out of this
and
little.
This is a problem for all 3 of them, Justin, because while they're squabbling, Dalton Lott's going to love this. He can prolong his stint and not pit yet.
100%. I think they can last another 5 minutes in this race. There's definitely potential for Dalton to put up some good clean laps and let these guys battle and lose time to each other.
As it's the worst time to have to step aside, but we'll be side by side. We're going to step aside, have a couple messages from some friends. We'll be back here in Tsukuba shortly.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Side nearly 3 wide of Met and Palacio. Front bumper of a Betty down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. Still hasn't jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them.
It's pretty dope seeing a bunch of
We
footage.
welcome you back to round number 1 of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge here in Tsukuba with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, Justin Robichaud alongside me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz as we are live on the Automotive Sports Network. As I had a couple sponsor plugs, I just want to take a look through the field. Dalton Lott is not pitted. You have not missed anything. So just a reminder, our series brought to you in association with Woven by Toyota. Mobility to love, safety to live. For more information, visit woven.toyota today. Coverage also brought to you by NordVPN for up to 63% off a 2-year plan. Visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Finally, our cameras for the entire season for both series are provided by TrackCams22.com. Justin, got a little bit of a lull. We're waiting for some pit strategy between the 2 leaders, Martel and Clog. They've been dueling all evening. Then we've had Dalton Lott and Chris Wetz, and Lott has not pitted yet. Wetz has. He's stuck in a battle with Ragster, Parente, and himself, and also David Schofield hasn't pitted yet. So what are your thoughts halfway through this race?
Yeah, there's actually 5 drivers at the moment that haven't pitted so far. And I suspect probably 3, maybe 2 of those 5 are going to end up in the top 10. Actually, I think we have someone going into the pit. No, not now. But it's just awesome how the strategy's played out. I mean, I'm looking at all the lap times and all the box times, and there are some drivers that are doing some really long times. I think Trevor took tires. Frank may have taken tires. So interesting. But a lot of drivers from my look just took fuel. So.
Hog 6/10 up that last lap, defending Rallycross champion in the 199. While we wait for this pit strategy, let's have a couple programming notes. We're going to have the second round of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge in 2 weeks. This is a bi-weekly, if that's the right term, bi-weekly series. We're going to be in Sebring, Florida on the 27th of July. Myself, Justin Robichaud, Bryan, Sawyer, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ASN Live. Tomorrow, just kidding, not tomorrow, Saturday, it's been pushed to Saturday, round 4 of the NASA Rallycross Lights from Barcelona, ASN On Demand. Myself, Bryan Sawyer for that one, 9 p.m. Eastern. And the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge, round number 5 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. You'll join myself, Philip Kraus, Cody Erdman, and Bryan Sawyer on Monday, the 17th. Dalton Lott has not pitted. Josh Klog and Francois Martel have not pitted. Will we see pit strategy? We're getting super deep into this race, and they have not pitted yet.
Yeah, I'm by my count, we've got like 7 to 18 minutes left, just under 18 minutes left in here. So yeah, I think we get probably in a little bit more time left, and some of these guys are going to have to go down there. But very interested to see how this plays out, because you know, like, if any of these guys make a mistake, or there's a big difference, or maybe Francois takes tires, like, it's not unheard of for some of these drivers, like in the sim, to take tires accidentally as well. That hurts. Once that car goes up, there's no going back down. So
I don't want to. I mean, I do want to make fun of my drivers in a loving way. Francois is leading the Rallycross, or second in Rallycross points, and he doesn't know how many jokers there are in a heat race. So maybe he can take tires. We'll just have to see. I love you, Francois. You're great. As Klog stuck behind Frank Klein in the 33. I'm not sure what's going on with blue flags here, but Klein, another team, or another car, I should say, that has not moved over. Full transparency, I might run the show, but I have no involvement with the rules here. That's all you, Justin. What are the blue flag rules? Do you have any?
To be honest with you, it's just the sim. They're supposed to get out of the way. A lot of those rules that don't get defined in the regulations, we just expect drivers to go by sim standards. I mean, this might be something we have to put it down as black and white. There's been a lot of drivers out there.
Is losing so much time behind Klein. This will hinder him if he tries to take any kind of strategy here. And I would almost pull, we talk about jokers in Rallycross, of course. Pit stop, basically your joker. I would pit now. Get clear of this traffic. Of course, I run Rallycross. I don't run roads. So what am I? What am I to talk about? Looks like Klein's going to move over. He came over the radio.
Like I said, it's really, there's not too many great spots to let someone
And Klein's going to battle him into the final corner.
Oh, my word.
Under the curb! Nearly. Woo-hoo. Nearly contact between them, between Klog and Klein. Schofield pitting in the 27. So is Lott.
He's fighting hard, yeah.
Lott is pitting. This is the battle for third with him and Wetz. Schofield, man on a mission to try and get back up and get some points in this championship. Where is Chris Wetz? Down the backstretch. He's behind Andrew Parente in the 15.
Yep, that's just based on a better pit strategy by Andrew Parente. He had that extra couple seconds, and it's making a difference here. And now, basically, this whole matchup is just done.
They're going to pit
Lott game and
on pit exit. So now, I think
Lott falls in behind them now.
Wetz, Parente, and Ragster, and Lott all battling.
Yeah, that's better.
And Lott had a 12.2 second box, so he was 2 seconds. He was on that top end, so he just
Martel hits in the 12. So does Klog.
Here we go.
So will we
at
see
the same time?
You typically don't want to follow your rival in, whether it's Joker or the pit lane, but we'll have to just see if there's going to be any differentiation. If you can check, I don't recall if Brock has pitted yet. Has he cycled through the third?
Brock has not.
Pits now. So
there
this is a 3-car battle for the final spot on the podium as we just cross under 15 minutes.
Well, we've got 4 cars under a blanket just about to exit that final corner and come and meet all these drivers here. They're going to get out in time, make it ahead of this battle. There goes Clog.
No change.
Brock is just getting into his stall now, so he's going to come up behind this battle.
On Parente, down to turn 1, deep on the brakes, the man from Texas, trying to get back to the podium spot, onto the curb. Ragster on the outside, nearly contact between Wetz and Parente on corner, or mid-corner, I should say.
Oh, wow, there are 3 of them, and they're going too wide.
Nose. I am so sorry to cut you off. It's just like the start. So much action. Ragster to the inside. Here comes Lott in the 45.
And he takes the spot.
Wetz loses the spot to Ragster. Will he lose the spot to Dalton Lott? What a drive for Parente in the 15.
Up to 3rd now, and that looks like that's going to stick if he can hold it. So all pit strategies are done now.
Just an update, Schofield in the 8th spot. So I would say a decent recovery for the man from New Hampshire. Certainly nowhere close to winning the race or being on the podium, but the damage limitation from an incident like that, super important.
Oh my God, this battle for 3rd is unbelievable. 4 cars all in contention here for that last podium spot.
Ragster tried the over-under, clipped the curb.
He's coming on the outside.
Corner.
Nope, not enough.
This is going to be a battle to watch. I told you it was going to be a battle for
the 3rd spot. A little bit of a walk from Parente.
I didn't know that it was going to be with Ragster and Parente, as we thought it was going to be Wetz and Lott.
And Savian spinning a bit of that right rear on the exit there, which I would think is a little bit more of an advantage over locking up on the entry. So yeah, he's got a bit more of a run here.
And Parente leaving half a car width just to give the temptation, give the thought to Ragster to maybe send the car on the inside. Not enough room to make any moves stick.
No.
And once again, not missing anything up front. Francois has led since the drop of the green flag. Clog sits in 2nd.
Yeah, and after the pit strategy, I mean, Clog gained about a half a second. That gap was sitting at about 4 for a while, and it's 3.5 at the moment. So I think that's probably where that's going to set him, barring a tragic mistake. But this battle for 3rd, wow, this is spicy.
As they're beginning to drop Dalton Lott, which is hilarious as I say that, because the last lap, Dalton Lott was a second faster than Wetz. It was a 102.8 to a 103. Let's get a reset of lap times. Everybody in this battle ran a 1-minute 2.7. Lott ran a 1-minute 3.2, so he's half a second down. The 3rd place battle, everyone ran within the same 1/10 of a second.
And there's a lot of crucial points here on the line, because the way it shakes down, there's 5-point gaps from 1st to 3rd. So I mean, there's very crucial points from that 3rd to 4th place. It's the difference between, you know, holding a bit of a better position on that podium later in the championship.
As it would be very fitting to get one of the factory Woven by Toyota cars on the podium in the first race of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sportscar Challenge.
Certainly would, and Savian Ragster would have been my money shot for doing that. And,
he's got to run off the corner, getting the slipstream down the straightaway, behind the 15 of Andrew Parente. Peeks to the inside, can't make that happen, but he at least lets him know he's there.
No, that's a strategy. That is a strategy, actually, that Savian uses, and he does that to check his apex. He taught me that, actually. If he's driving really close behind a driver, he'll hop out really fast.
Pokes to the inside. Contact between the 15 and the 91.
Oh, and he just gets it too, dude.
Involved. Parking lot in turn 1, and Chris Wetz has snuck to the 3rd spot.
Wetz and Dalton make it through. That's unfortunate.
So Ragster will let Parente through. Gentleman rule.
I'm sorry.
In NASA Sim Racing, Ragster apologizes. And that's just the nature of racing, whether it's sim racing or real world. You're fighting for a podium, and people can't tell me that this isn't real racing, because the adrenaline, the emotions, everything is the same, Justin.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, there's many races where I'll finish and have a good result, or maybe a slightly poor result, and yeah, you just got to go for a quick walk because you're just chock full of it. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've got that replay up right here if you want to take a peek at that. Savian coming in.
As we can take a look, all yours, Justin.
Makes him move up on the inside. Just gives him a little bit of a bump, but when you're on the brakes like that in a turn of that kind of caliber, I mean, it's going to happen.
DiGiacomo's days are going from bad to worse. He is spun in turn number 1 in the 55 for 845 Subi. Jared Lott blocking the 12 of Martel, the race leader. 3rd time with different drivers. 3rd time that there's some blue flag issues. And I'm not saying fix the rules, but there might have to be some talkings to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty aggressive all night. I don't want to say it's disappointing, but it'll definitely be something we'll have to talk about for sure. And that's not a bad, that's not a bad onus on the drivers. That's not
absolutely not.
It's been gone over, so that's okay. It's a growing pain of a new series, so we'll iron all that out.
As Clog still sits in second, just about 9 minutes left here in the inaugural round of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge. It has been such a thrill to watch this race this evening. And Chris Wetz sitting in third, 1 minute 3.0. Dalton Lott, 1 minute 2.5. This battle's not over. And while Ragster and Parente are going to be, they're still going to be battling, even though it's going to be fifth now. They're still all over each other. Yep. And Will Parente, not advising a nudge. This isn't rallycross, right? But Parente might just want to get the spot back, you think?
If it's super late in the race, that would be, I don't want to say encouraged, but yeah, there's definitely, this is definitely going to be a battle to watch, because there's obviously a little bit of, as Parente's a little bit messy on the exit there, but this will heat up for sure, unless someone can put a gap and get these guys far apart. But Chris Wetz sitting on the podium now after just a mistake from another driver. I mean, just like that, the blink of an eye, and it's a whole new race right now.
We talk about Josh Clog just biding his time, running his own race, and just falling into things. If we want to go to the heritage side of NASA Sim Racing, I could tell you so many stories of Chris Wetz benefiting from mistakes.
Wetz locks it up in turn one.
Locked the brakes up in the 71. He's pushing so hard. It was past, I think it's turn 5, the right-hander, exiting the corner.
Savian and Parente are side by side into turn 1 here.
Ragster takes the spot, holds the spot over Parente.
Holds it back.
Just like we've talked about 3 separate times. There's so much action going on, we can't keep an eye on it. Wetz holds Lott off. We're not missing anything up in that spot, so we'll keep an eye on this battle between Ragster, Parente, and look who that is in the 27!
That's
David Schofield sneaking into the top 5 potentially.
Just knocking on the door right there, waiting for these two drivers to just get into it, because they're racing pretty fierce at the moment. Every corner is
looks to the outside, not to cut you off. They are in the final corner. Thought he could take the run. We'll have to take a look down to turn number 1. Wetz defends in the 71. Will Lott go to the inside? Outbreaks.
Are we going to have another incident exactly the same?
And around goes Wetz in the 71.
Same exact incident that happened with Savian and Andrew Parente. It's a carbon copy. Exactly the same thing. That's a tough zone to make a pass on the brakes. You're coming over a crest and you're coming in really hot. There's very little room for mistake there. A couple drivers succumbing to that tonight.
Trying not to overlay the rallycross rose-tinted glasses on this, but with Ragster stopping for spinning Parente, or was it the other way around? My memory of a goldfish, as my wife likes to say. Transparency's sake, not thrilled that Dalton Lott didn't stop and let Wetz through, but it's not my job to handle that, so we'll just have to wait and see. Schofield sneaking in on Parente and Ragster. We'll just have to wait and see. Wetz now in the 4th spot as Francois Martel 5.5 seconds ahead of Josh Clog in the 199.
This is just unreal. I can't believe we had 2 incidents almost identical, in laps apart, that just kind of shake up that center. I didn't think that there would be this many incidents between those guys, to be honest. And it's just, I think that's just early season jitters, and I think that's stuff a lot of these drivers will shake out. I mean, it's been quite this, so chalk it up to like hot tires, because a lot of these guys have not gotten tires, certainly.
And a lot of these guys didn't run the test race, so these guys don't know how the others drive. So there's a lot of that too.
Absolutely. Very crucial.
All about learning your fellow drivers. What we're learning is Francois Martel is fast no matter what car you put him in, whether it's the lights, the supercars, or the GR86. We take a look at Parente.
Andrew is just literally hooked on Savian at the moment.
Ragster defends.
And he comes out.
Will Parente take the outside?
Ragster defends beautifully. Look at that, holding that inside line. Nowhere to go.
We ride on board Parente. He'll have the run off of the final corner. Will we see take number 2 between these guys? Deep on the brakes. Parente nearly into Ragstor. Here comes Schofield in the 27.
Schofield's not knocking anymore. He's opened the door and he's holding it, and he's going to pressure Parente. And
the fact of the matter that he was 20 seconds off of the lead. He still is if we total up that, but the fact that he was spun in the grass in the end of the first lap.
Oh, yes.
And he's knocking on the
and
door
let everybody
of the top
by.
5.
And let everybody by because he couldn't get that car turned around clean.
Incredible.
Just impressive. Just super impressive.
And I know, Josh, why are you going on your tangent about this? We're one race in, but this, if it happens, 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever, this could potentially maybe win him the championship if he's successful throughout the season, like we know how fast he is. Potentially, who knows?
Absolutely. If that came down to a few points and he turned a potential 0 split or a 2-point and actually clawed some good numbers out of it, and it made a difference down the line, absolutely. That's
put it this
huge.
way, 17th place is 10 points. If he finishes 7th, he'll have 30 points. That is a huge margin to make up.
Massive.
It's not over yet. We still have just over 3 minutes left to go.
Should shake out to about 4 more laps, I think.
And this battle is not over for the 5th spot. As Dalton Lott sits in 3rd, Wet's in 4th. That running order has not changed. Ragstor, Parente, Schofield. I'm taking a look really quick through the field. Really, the only battle we have are these 3 cars.
Yep. That battle for 5th.
Brock Quinn sneaking into the picture too, so if anything goes wrong with these 3, he'll be able to take the fight.
Absolutely, he's been holding on that whole time.
And he's like Schofield. He had that issue. It was a different part of the track. I think it was turn 4 when he ended up in the hay bales or the barriers. Missing the apex is Parente in the 15. Schofield to the inside. Parente, will he let him have it? He hit the brakes mid-corner. Schofield takes the spot, put him to 6th after his issues on the first lap.
Flashing the headlights, so you got to wonder if there's a little bit of
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
I am commending the drive that Francois Martel is having. Just over 2 minutes left, like you said, couple laps to go. He has pulled 2 more seconds on Josh Klog. I think Klog knows he has the gap over Dalton Lott in the 45, so he's just going to cruise and take this 2nd spot potentially.
Oh yeah, just a flawless drive by Francois Martel. Honestly, he's just he's holding an 8-second gap on Josh Klog to 2nd now. So just driving away with it, showing everybody he means business.
As looking through the field yet again, really no battles. As Ragstor, Schofield, Parente. I think Schofield has something for Ragstor. Let's take a look at the lap times as they cross the line to end lap number 41. Ragstor, 1 minute 2.650. Schofield, 1 minute 2.459.
Francois is coming up to some very interesting lap traffic right now. He's got Joseph DiGiacomo and he's Frank Klein, and both of these drivers have been driving very. Oh my goodness gracious! That was close, and you know he didn't mean to do that, but that was very, very close.
As now
you got to wonder. Frank Klein's been defensive on his lap drivers all day. You gotta wonder if he's not looking at relatives or he's not seeing that. Maybe the sim's not throwing flags. Something we'll have to look into for sure and address.
Martel's still up front. I'm trying not to get angry at that. Schofield still behind Ragstor. We'll take a look at the lap times. I think we're going to have 2 laps to go. Martel trying to get by Klein in the 33. Race leader has led since the drop of the green flag. Schofield's going to have a couple laps to try and get this position from Ragstor and get a top 5 over what has been a chaotic race in Tsukuba.
That would be unbelievable if he places in the top 5. I mean, even being in the top 6, if he finishes right now, which is what it likely is, just unbelievably impressive. And navigate that very aggressive field today and the way people have been driving, just beyond impressive. And he's coming in really tight to Savian there. And honestly, it looks like he's poised to make a move here. I don't think he wants to settle for 6th.
He was another 2/10 up that last lap. I'm keeping an eye on Martel trying to get by Frank Klein here. If I'm Martel, I would just stay behind the lapped car. You've got plenty of time.
Oh my goodness, his gap is still 7 seconds.
Nearly contact between them. I think this is the checkered flag for Martel.
Looks like it.
He wins in Tsukuba. As our timing was a little broken, apologies
A
for
little
that.
off.
Clock comes home
Yeah.
in second. Dalton Lott in third. Fourth will be Wetz. This battle for fifth is not over between Ragster and Schofield at the line. Ragster will pip Schofield for fifth.
Just
Seventh, Andrew Parente.
marginally.
Eighth, Quinn. Ninth looks like it'll be Rakowski. And 10th, Frank Klein. And Francois Martel takes the inaugural victory of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car
racing,
Challenge.
Good time.
As we'll take a look
I'm guessing nobody took tires.
at our unofficial results.
Nah,
Once
you
the
don't
graphic
usually
pops
these
up.
New tire models, these things don't chew tires
Uh-oh.
up too hard at all, boys.
There we
And they
go.
work. Martel, Clog, Dalton Lott, Wetz. It's a little broken internally, so I'll just have to read it on a different screen. So Ragster, Schofield, Parente, Quinn, Rakowski, Frank Klein rounding out the top 10. Jared Lott, Trevor Kratzer, Jake Robichaud, Joseph DeGiacomo, Eli Sasak, Sashit Fidaldas, and Edwin Webb. We had 3 retirements in this race. I
Wow.
cannot believe the level
I'm
of
s-
entertainment that we have had this evening.
Speechless.
Thanks for hosting.
That was unbelievable. I'm gonna try and get a hold of some people.
So we'll have a chat with our top 3. We'll bring in our third place man. Once we get there, it's going to be Dalton Lott. But we're going to bring Francois to the media pen. We'll bring Dalton. I don't know if Clog's in here. So I'll bring in our third place man, Dalton Lott.
Oh.
And Justin Robichaud. We'll have a chat with him.
How are you doing, Dalton? Great race.
Thank you. I'll be honest, I'm a little conflicted. I don't know what's going to happen, if there's going to be any kind of review after the fact by Chris, but had a good time on this track. This is one of my favorites. I knew qualifying was going to be important, so I was happy with where we started, happy with where we finished.
Excellent. So in that, your incident actually was almost identical to another one just a couple laps prior. So obviously a hot spot. Very tough braking zone. Were you finding the car trouble, like hard to drive near the end, like especially in the braking zones?
To be honest, the most issue I saw with the car was that last wide sweeping turn. You really start to feel the car drift out wide on you. As far as the incident went, I felt we were braking, and it felt like he checked up a little bit extra again. I don't know if he locked up the fronts or whatever the deal was there, but like I felt we were going around as we had normally had the past couple of laps, and I just got a little jolt in front of me, and I unfortunately gave him a little bit of a nudge. Certainly not what I was intending to do.
No, and it isn't what anybody intends to do. And like I said, that was a hot spot for incidents. But is there anybody you'd like to thank for your result today in P3? It's a pretty solid performance for round 1.
Let's see, Thrustmaster and Jimmy Broadbent for these excellent racing gloves that I have. Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks, Dalton Lott. Great race today, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Francois Martel, you apparently are just fast in anything you drive. I have a question for you. Well, first off, how was your race? But second, what was your thoughts when you saw Schofield crashing at the end of the first lap?
I was shocked, honestly. I still don't know what happened. I just thought, okay, I need to forget about this piece of information as quickly as possible. Not miss any apex, nothing. Just get it out of my head, as strange as it sounds, and not get too excited. Because, Josh Klug is fast. David Schofield was the other one I was worried. So I was just trying to do my race.
As I'm going to publicly roast Bryan Sawyer. Apparently Francois' name is Dalton Lott, and I tagged you in Discord, and the name has not changed. So we'll try and we'll get his we broke it. The graphics broken. Welcome to NASA on ASN. So apparently your name's Dalton Lott, Francois. But talk to me. I guess lap traffic is another question. How were you faring with that? And then really the battle that you had with Clog. You guys battle regardless of whatever series it is.
Yeah, it's a fun time. The thing is that obviously those cars, the GR86 is really different than the Rallycross supercar. In Rallycross, you don't really mind the tire degradation. With this little car, it's huge. After lap laps after laps are different, so I had to compose with that, and it really feel like you're always on the edge compared to a rallycross supercar where you can throw the car sideways, get away with things. But the 86, you gotta be smooth from start to finish, and you said it doesn't matter what's in front of you. If there's lap traffic, you gotta be, you still have to drive with finesse. So this race, it was a little easier, but the next one I'm sure will be much harder because I had like big pace degradation after, so it's gonna be hard.
As from the rallycross ranks, we kind of know what you'll mention for this one. I'll ask if you have any partners or anyone you'd like to thank. Then I'll have Justin ask you a question if he's got anything. But anyone you'd like to thank for it's the first ever race in the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge, and you take the checkered flag. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, in particular, I want to thank Woven Planet by Toyota. It's kind of insane that we have a sponsor that is a company from Toyota, so that's nuts. I'm not gonna shut up about that. Yeah, and Team Watson Racing, teamwatsonracing.com if you want a setup for the GR86 or whatever else car you are into. And thanks to you guys as always.
Absolutely, my friend. Justin, you got anything for our race winner?
How much did you practice? You were unbelievable today. I mean, a great race. Excellent drive. You were just flawless all day.
I guess I have to interject real quick. We fully expected, I think for transparency's sake, for Schofield to run away. And then you took pole and we were both flabbergasted. So I'd like to hear that too.
Where did he come from?
You know, strangely enough, I think I've been practicing since I was 16, and in that track in particular, like on Forza, it was one of my favorites. I really loved to watch those old Japanese show about cars where they would race all sorts of tuned car on that track. So I think that's the secret. I don't even, Sebring, I don't even like have 10 laps on that. So we're gonna see.
Well, thank you so much, Francois. Just amazing drive today.
Well, thank you.
As I'm gonna do a couple programming notes, a couple sponsor plugs, get your final thought, and we'll skedaddle out of here. I'll go over programming notes first before we close it out here this evening. Tomorrow, just kidding, I did it again. Saturday, the NASA Rallycross Lights Round 4 in Barcelona. You'll watch that on ASN On Demand. Join myself and Bryan Sawyer for that one on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Round 5 of the 28th season of the Overwatch Special Release Service NASA Rallycross Challenge at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. Myself, Philip Krause, Cody Erdman, and Bryan Sawyer for that one on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern on ASN Live. And the second round of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge in 2 weeks. It's a bi-weekly series, so we will be on July 27th in Sebring. And if you'd like to join any of the series that we have here in NASA Sim Racing, you can do www.nasasimracing.com. Do not type in HTTPS because the link will break that way. I don't know how it's broken that way. Just type www.nasasimracing.com and it'll work. Couple sponsor friends. Just a reminder, our series is brought to you in association with Woven by Toyota. Mobility to love, safety to live. For more information, visit woven.toyota today. Our coverage tonight also brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off a 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Thirdly, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And Justin Robichaud, what did you think for the inaugural round of the championship?
It was unbelievable. I mean, there were some incidents and just the smidge of disappointment here and there. But hey, look, overall, what an incredible round one of this season. I'm so excited to see where this takes us and see the driving and see how it elevates and just how it plays out.
As just I took a quick glance through the running order. It was a thrilling race between Dalton Locke, Chris Wett, Savian Ragster, Parente. That squabble through the entire race for that third step on the podium. Schofield crashing at the end of the first lap and clawing his way back to sixth. Drive of a potential champion. And take it from me, I've won by a couple points. So every point matters in any NASA sim racing series. And Francois pulling away and ended the race 6.7 seconds ahead of the second place Josh Klog. From all of us,
Josh Klog snags that extra point too for the fastest lap, just
that.
narrowly. Dalton Lott. So the fast lap for Josh Klog was a 102.012, and it was a 102.060 for Dalton. So,
you saved me. I was about to say good night, and I forgot we had a point for the fastest. If that's any indication that this series is going to be great, as it was. It's half a tenth for the fastest lap point at the end. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Justin Robichaud and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz, as we hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge tonight from Tsukuba. Congratulations to Francois Martel. Be sure to join us for lights on Saturday, supercars on Monday, or in 2 weeks from Sebring as we do it all again in the GR86. But until then, so long, everyone.